The title of this book is The Meta and Physics of Jesus Christ. Now, let me tell you a little bit about this book, because it did not come by way of the usual way we get books on this planet. In order to tell you this story, this is very true, by the way. You can think it's crazy if you want to, and it truly does sound kind of crazy, especially if you're not into what this book is about, which is the full big picture reality of life on Earth. So I'm just going to lay it out for you, and if you think it's too crazy for you, then just pass it up. You'll be passing up something you really ought to know, especially if you live in the Western world, but that will be your choice. So here it is. It's 1999. 1999. I have this amazing, completely freakish, I mean just mind-blowing, it hit me on all four components. It was just an amazing spiritual experience. I'm having this amazing spiritual experience. This thing is going on for a long time. What I'm going to tell you is about the first several hours of it, because that's when the beginning or the formation of the idea of, hey, sit down and write this came. Now, mind you, by this time I was already no stranger at all to the Bible. I was no stranger at all to Christianity. I was no stranger at all to sermons. I was no stranger at all to any of this stuff. As a matter of fact, I was on the search for what is the real God. What is it? What is it? Knowing that there's way more to the story that I was never going to get in a sermon. I was never going to get in any church. I was never going to get in any of the usual ways. It just wasn't going to happen. So I'm on the search, and mind you also, I'm no stranger to meditation, and let me say up front, I advocate meditation. And the reason I advocate meditation is because it actually works. Now, way back in the day in the 80s and 90s, if you said something like that, people would just be freaking out, because there was this campaign that came from within the Christian church institution as a whole. Christian church institutions is probably a better way to say that. That said, oh my God, well, in meditation that means Eastern. Oh, it's East. Anything Eastern, well, we've got to crush it. We've got to crush it. It's taking hold. We've got to crush it. Without really recognizing, look, meditation doesn't belong to any Eastern tradition exclusively, any Western tradition exclusively. Christianity, early Christianity, was using meditations. You go out to the Desert Fathers, they're using meditations. You see the Judaism, like what those guys, the original apostles, were. This meditation process was going on in that form of Judaism right there when Christ was walking around on the planet. But back in those days, the dogmas, the doctrines, and all the stuff they were telling you, oh my God, this is horrible, this is evil wickedness, blah, blah, blah. It really wasn't. It was all about us against them. It was all about, we're going to rule, because, a long time ago the church got on this kick about we have to rule the world and blah, 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 and all that stuff. And just look into your history books. But anyway, I don't want to get too far off the topic, which is what this book is about. So this book came along then, and it came from this just really bizarre experience I'm having. And while I'm having this experience, especially in the first several hours, many hours, the experience itself went on for months, okay? But in the first several hours, it was just this thing of like massive calm, let's relax, let's be at peace, let's feel cool, everything's great, no problems, none of this stuff. Let me tell you this. What got me in this state of mind is that I was having this, it was like a life crisis at that moment. It was like I was having this meltdown. It was like, okay, I'm not going the right way in life, and this is happening and that's happening. I'll spare you the details because, it doesn't have anything to do with this book, and I don't write about that in this book. But I was having that crisis, and so I'm turning to God, whatever God really is. I'm turning to that, and I'm saying, hey, here's what's going on. What am I doing? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. So, and then bam, here comes this experience. And I do talk a little bit about the experience in the book, not a whole lot, because the whole thing still sounds like a regular person. A regular person would be like, you're crazy. Except when you start reading what's actually in the book and the profoundness of what's actually in the book, and it's looking at things like doctrines and dogmas compared to actual scriptures, actual texts, and it's weighing them up side by side and looking at, so much stuff, and it's saying, here, let's look at it like this, instead of like, here's the dogma and the doctrine of the usual blah, 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 It's that kind of thing. But the profoundness that came out of what actually got written down in this book, I'm literally learning stuff, amazing stuff, mind-shocking stuff, because we live in these paradigms where we think, oh, yeah, I was raised in Christianity, I understand, I know, blah, blah, blah. Well, I didn't know. I didn't know any of this stuff. I literally didn't know it. It was like, I'm learning while I'm writing this stuff. Here, write this. It was sort of that idea. Write this down. Speak about this. We're going to tell you, write this down. And those things that I'm being clued in on, that's what's in the book. The original title of the book was titled The Physics of Jesus Christ. Of course, I didn't put all the stuff I thought was crazy in there. But, as time went on, I realized that's not crazy. People should probably know that. That's why it was, happening, because it was part of the experience. You better put that in there. So when I did some rewrites in that book later on in time, I said, okay, you know what? This is sort of beyond regular old Christianity and the regular look at, let's look at Jesus Christ. This is beyond that. So I added the word meta, which actually means beyond. So the title of The Physics of Jesus Christ was changed to The Meta and Physics of Jesus Christ. So that's how the title came to be. But it really is a book. If you are new or old to Christianity, new or old, you've been in Christianity a long time, or new, like, okay, I'm just coming into Christianity, I really, really, really advocate, seriously, I advocate that you pick up a copy of this and read it through. It's very profound, so you might want to read portions of it and then stop and then think those portions over and then read more. I'm not kidding. Some of the stuff that's in that book is massively profound, and there's no rush in reading it. It's not one of those books you sit down and just read through like a novel or something. It's really got some profound information and stuff in there that really needs to be looked at, especially if you say, okay, well, I'm a Christian and I'm doing the Christian tenets. You really, seriously, I can't advocate strong enough. Pick up a copy, read it, give it away. When you find out how profound what is in this book, or what's in this book is, and you actually see how profound it is, give it away to other people. Please, I'm the author. I wrote the book. The copyright's in my name. I'm telling you right here on this recording for everyone to hear. Give the copy away. After you buy a copy, share it with people. It's that serious. it can do a lot. It will help. It will really help in this time. Don't forget, we live in the 21st century, and this world is we're in trouble. We're really in trouble. And we need the power. We need to use the power. And this book goes into that. It discusses it in depth. It takes a look at some things that are just messing people up, that come right out of the doctrines of the church organizations and the church, what they do and how they get you to think. And it weighs that up with, here's the actual scripture and here's what the actual scripture says. And these are some very powerful tenets that they've been pushing for a very, very, very long time. I mean, Christianity is not some wishy-washy thing. It's actually something else beyond religion itself. It's not really religion. When I see it, I don't really think of it as religion anymore after this experience. I think it's a type of physics. It's a type of something that goes on. That's why it was said, okay, well, that's why it was clued into me, okay, well, you might want to add physics in here as part of the title. So, anyway, I didn't realize I was rambling on for over 10 minutes. But that's what's in the book. Please do buy a copy of it. I promise you, you won't regret it. And the people you give it to, they won't regret you buying it either. So please do buy a copy. All right? Take care. This is the author, Vincent Peppers, telling you this.